Wow.
Hey.
Fucking walking.
These islands are becoming lost and forgotten in time, like tears in the rain. What's the next bit I was going to say? Fuck, I keep forgetting what I've got to say. Good morning everyone and welcome back to your mum. You know, I'll admit I have mixed feelings on Ikeshima. I guess it's sad, first of all, that there used to be 10,000 people living here. Now it's about 180 and
30.
Pussy Japan.
No, it's definitely demonetised. Yeah. Brilliant. Better stop it before it gets really fucked.
Oh, danger. Maybe no gas?
You can smell gas.
Yeah.
God, it's a bit worrying.
Big bomb.
So we've seen some incredible locations on Journey Across Japan, the Lost Islands, this time around. I did do more research, perhaps, on this season, more than any other, just because we had Natsuki for a week for the first time ever, and I don't know if we'll get him back again. But I really wanted to make sure we made that count, and every day counted for something. And Ikeshima was one of the most incredible places that I've ever found in my research across Japan. So the aim of Journey Across Japan, the Lost Islands, was to go to Gunkanjima, which we're going to in the next episode, the final episode. And Gunkanjima's Battleship Island. You might have seen it in Skyfall, where the sort of James Bond goes to meet the villain there. That's how it became famous. But the problem with Gunkanjima is when I was looking it up, I discovered that you can't actually go around it on your own. You can't really explore it. So I realised that it wasn't going to be much fun. There wasn't going to be any real sense of adventure to it. And in fact, as beautiful as the island is, in the next episode, it was a little bit underwhelming, the fact that you have to sort of go on this sleek, carefully choreographed tour. So I was really disappointed when I found that out. And I started looking around islands around Nagasaki, of which there are many. There are so many islands around Nagasaki Bay. And I can't remember how I came across it, but suddenly I found Ikeshima. And Ikeshima turned out to be this huge abandoned island with lots of buildings that have been left to their own devices, run down. And I saw a photo of the really big series of apartment blocks. We had some really cool drone shots of Natsuki walking alone. I saw those and I thought, wow, this place looks amazing. Now, I didn't really think it was going to be as good as I imagined it to be. But when we got to Ikeshima, every single one of us was sort of blown away by the sheer scale of it. Like, it is incredible. And thank God we had the drone to sort of show it off and do it justice, because it is the sort of place you need to see from a high angle. It is incredible.
Hey,
Cheers! Real life, real holiday, real beer time. Nice touch.
Doesn't get any more Dutch than Heineken.
Oh. Dutchineken.
What did he say?
Dutchineken. Heineken. Heerlijk. Heerlijk.
Delicious in Dutch, right?
Delicious in Dutch.
Heerlijk. Heerlijk.
He's pronouncing it right, just sounds wrong.
It wasn't without its problems though. For example, we did have some problems getting on the island. We thought we wouldn't be allowed on because we did have a hotel booked. There's like one little rundown hotel in the middle of the island, and we were quite looking forward to filming a video there. However, at the time of filming, there was a lockdown in Tokyo that kicked off, and as soon as that happened, we got a phone call from the hotel sort of saying, "Oh, sorry, we can't let you stay here, given that you've got a few folks from Tokyo and whatnot." So, fair enough, completely understood that, but it kind of really blew a hole through our plans. And I feel a sense of regret to some extent, because we were going to stay in the hotel. Then I thought, well, let's just stay in the car, right? That's why we got the big car. I thought we could stay in it if we needed to. However, once we got there and it was hot and it was full of Mosquitoes are really quite unpleasant. I don't think it would have been fun to stay there overnight. Might have been a good video. As we all know, pain equals entertainment, but at the same time, 4 or 5 days into the trip, I think we were all at our wits' end. We were all a bit run down, and that would have been the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. But I do feel a little bit of regret that we didn't do anything there. And in fact, we didn't really do a whole lot on the island, other than just walk around with our mouths wide open in sheer awe at the size and scale of the place. And another downside because of the coronavirus situation is we wanted to keep our distance from the locals, so we weren't able to really engage with the 100 or so people living on the island, even though we didn't really see any. As soon as the boat arrived in the little port, everybody who was on the boat just sort of disappeared and went off fishing in their own directions. And once we got away from the port, I don't think we saw anybody, like maybe 1 or 2 people in the distance. It was literally just a pile of cats. It's a very surreal island.
Natsuki's made a new companion. What's the cat's name, Natsuki?
This? He? Pem. Melon.
Melon. Melon the cat.
Melon. どこまでもついてる We're going.
This cat won't stop following us. It was cute at first, now it's just quite scary. Ah.
If you actually stare at a cat in the eyes, that's a sign of aggression.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Let's singing.
Okay. No.
Just go get the bicycle then and cycle.
It's a rainy, orange, rainy.
I don't know, it just makes you think, like, how long has this been like this, you know? Because that doesn't happen overnight. That's like 10, 20 plus years of abandonment, essentially.
That's how I was raised. That's how I was raised.
10, 20 years of abandonment.
I think if I could go back and change one thing about Journey Across Japan, I would try and find a way to turn this day into 2 days, because both of the locations we went to were my favourite places in the entire series, and I would have loved to have spent an entire day on Ikeshima, and I would have loved to have spent an entire day at House 10 Boss. Like the rides, there were a few rides, there was lots of cool things to see, but we really pushed for time, and we absolutely battered. This is another thing, we got on the bikes, right, and we were racing around House 10 Boss on this weird bike, tandem bike. Afterwards, every single one of us was dead, and we were sort of just mindless zombies when we were walking around Ikeshima by that point. Like, I was trying to get commentary out of Joey and Natsuki, and it was like getting blood out of a stone. Like, it just wasn't happening. They were just not talking because they were so run down, and I felt pretty battered as well. Like, we didn't really do any physical exercise in the series, and that was it. Going around House 10 Boss on a bicycle for about an hour and a half, with some Heineken beers thrown in at the end of it. But going back to Ikeshima, I do think the island will have a future, potentially, as a tourist hotspot. Once people realise Gunkanjima, you can't do anything there, Ikeshima could be the really, really awesome island to actually go and visit. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what folks say in the comments, you know, what viewers think. Which island would they rather go to out of Gunkanjima and Ikeshima? But Ikeshima definitely gets my vote. And if any of you guys are into your sort of abandoned buildings, into Haikyo, or just want to sort of go to what feels like an apocalyptic dystopian wasteland, then Ikeshima is the most amazing place I've been to in Japan in terms of abandoned buildings. There's nowhere quite like it, and it is by far the most incredible location we visited in this season, and perhaps any season on Journey Across Japan. And with that, we've got one last episode left in the series, finally going to Nagasaki City after all these years, after hearing about it so much. I can't wait to share the final episode with you guys, featuring Dr. Jelly himself. Of course, he has to come back. At last, Dr. Jelly and Natsuki in one video. Gunkanjima, of course, and some gigantic burgers, and also a little bit of history thrown in, because, of course, Nagasaki does have a dark but very intriguing history, and it would be a crime to miss that out. But looking forward to sharing that with you guys next week. But for now, guys, as always, many thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our trip to Ikeshima and House 10 Boss.
ナイスハンモック
good service. 硫島 big area. 何で
Emoji.
I'm free animals. Oh, 俺は自由だ. I'm free. Yeah.
He's 47 years old.
親父の遊び方.
Beer all over the floor.
Yeah. Beer and 親父.
For now, guys, as always, many thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here on Journey Across Japan, The Lost Islands, do all over again in the next episode. Bye for now. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
Imaginary
to my
beer.
fist.
King of pussy. Can we put that in the video? Is that going to get demonetised?
No, it'll be alright.
Famous last words.
Wow.